afraid of the dark?
Hello, my fellow neckbeards, and welcome to the Season 5. And I know that plenty of you have been asking for the Season 5 Nocturne guide. The answer is, listen, man, I just don't want to do that all again, so I'm just going to recap everything that you need to know about Season 5, alright? Some of you have already noticed that there's new jungle creeps, there's new items, and it's practically overwhelming. And one can only imagine that it's an absolute pain in the butt, especially when you just finished watching my Nocturne guide, which you can watch here in this little box. I mean, I'm serious though. I mean, 40,000 views, and there's a lot of people like, oh my goodness, why you grace us with your excellence? And I'm like, listen, man, you're excellent. So if you haven't already seen it, you should probably go see it. I mean, after all, it is an update. I'm not actually doing like the legit guide. I already did it in that one. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and explain everything you need to know about Season 5 and how else you can keep up the tremendous power that is the Nocturne. I think it goes without saying that a good jungle rotation is very important, because not only does it mean that you have to earn money and how much you earn money at what time, but it also means that you position yourself in a way where you can gank for others and essentially take part in controlling the map. But if some of you want to know what my rotation is, I personally prefer taking either both red or blue, it doesn't even matter, going to wolves and then taking that other major buff. As for the whole smiting the golems or the frog or whatever, I heard about that, and I don't really find it to be something that I'm personally comfortable with. You can totally do it if you want to, if you know how to, whatever. For me, it just feels like I think it's a lot more important to be able to have those set buffs and then just get on going with either farming or ganking or whatever. And not to mention that because Smite is such kind of a short cooldown, it's really not that all that important to just go ahead and just start, you know, smiting everything until you get jungle buffs. I mean, you can get the frog poison shield and the, like, the 5th hit, knock, stun, whatever, you know, whenever. So, as for what each and every one does, and, like, does it apply to Nocturne, I won't tell you what they do, because I believe that that is a guide for learning how to jungle, but I will say that the ones that I find to be pretty important is the golem buff one, where each 4th or 5th hit, I believe, stuns the target, and getting crabs. And speaking of crabs, I ain't talking about that medical scratchy stuff, because if you have that going, go see a doctor. Crab is probably the best creep that you can get in the game. Reason being is that not only can you help out essentially quote-unquote ward for the other lanes, but it also gives you mobility in between. So that kind of mobility is going to be very useful in the fact that, like, suppose that you need to rush towards a lane and then ult in the middle of that lane, which is totally fine. By the way, Dragon is probably the most important damn objective in the entire game next to Baron. Reason being is that not only does it spawn a lot earlier than Baron does, but quite frankly, getting those buffs are going to be essential for you and your team. So, by all means, type it in chat, get everybody going, Dragon, 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 whenever you can, whenever it pops up, and control that one objective. And by then, you'll have a very easy game. Also, Baron. And I cannot stress enough that Baron is very good, and I don't know why people tend to ignore it, or that, you know, oh, it's a noob objective. Let me tell you something. That siege with the minions, it's quite good. Also, that awkward moment when you try to ping Baron, and then it's like, yo, bro, we should probably go get Baron, and everybody ignores you, and then the enemy team just kills you off, and then takes the Baron, and they go into your base and beats you. But I digress. The point being, guys, is that taking objectives is the most crucial thing ever. So in your rotation, be sure that you are taking any creep that you can possibly find in front of you. But at the same time, mix it up. See, with me, I feel as though that if I keep doing the same rotation over and over and over and over again, I'm predictable. And that's not Nocturne. Nocturne, out of anyone, should be unpredictable. So if you're going to have a jungle rotation, be sure that you mix it up each and every time, and also include objectives entirely. Let your team know. Remind yourself. Make sure that objectives are secured and that you're not going to the same place, going the same route each and every time. I think we can all agree that building certain items on certain champions can really make the difference. But with Nocturne, though, there's just so many. Like, for example, there's this white saber thing, and then there's the red one that does, like, I believe true damage, and the other one that does slow, and it's just, like, so many different jungle items, and where do you even start in this abundance of items? How do you even decide what item to get? Well, actually, I'm here to tell you, it depends. Yeah, I know. Before people just start flaming me over and everybody just, like, picks it like if it's some kind of, like, Hogwarts class. Oh, let's pick the red saber, or let's pick the blue saber. Nah, dog, you gotta go the green gem. Everybody calm down. I'm here to tell you that I am also saying that I can't exactly give you an exact answer. The problem is that it's very situational. I mean, if I can get away with farming the whole way just to get magic damage, I could. Or if I needed to gank a lot and I needed to slow him, I could. Or maybe that I just decided, nah, dude, I'm just gonna get bonus gold, move around, and whatever. Thing is, they made jungles so that it all depends on what you need. And what does Nocturne need? You know what? I'm gonna let you guys kind of vote for it. What do you think? Maybe the blue saber with the red gem? Maybe the purple with the green? Go on, take your time. I'm gonna wait. Alright, time's up. I'm gonna tell you what I personally like getting. One of the jungle items that I typically get is the Stalker Blade with the warrior stats. It's really nice because I get to be able to have that armor pen and the attack damage, and it's kind of hilarious seeing them trying to run away where, boop, no you can't because I slowed you down. The second item I normally like getting is the Skirmisher Blade with the Devour gem in it. It's pretty much me farming a whole bunch, and then getting that magic damage being able to be built up, and then being able to go in, and then I can cast like a certain amount of true damage, and I get to see them and blah blah blah, which is really nice as well. If I feel like I need to get ahead in gold, I will rarely get the Poacher item with Devour, and I mean, I don't even think twice on Poacher. I'm not too big on Poacher. Even though the recommended build says to build Poacher, I find it to be not as prevalent. But who knows? Maybe it's a better item and, you know, maybe I'm just stupid. But that wouldn't be new news. So, I mean, overall, the two items I would say is both the Stalker Blade and the Skirmisher Blade. And the two stats you want to be able to focus on, and I believe if you want to, you can interchange them, is the Devourer Gem and the Warrior Gem. So that's something. And once you get that kind of jungle item and then you've got it all built up and whatever, you can just stay the same build you normally do, or you can change it around. Like I said, I talk about all that in the Nocturne guide. You can still see it. It's basically, you know, it's the same deal. I mean, it's not Regal's Lantern, but, you know, it gets the job done. From what I understand, that it creates more opportunities for you as a jungler, but that's up to you guys. I mean, hell, you can get that purple axe, you can get whatever the hell you want. It depends, like I already said. So, it's still business as usual in terms of build. Just be sure that you are concentrating on completing the jungle item, but before actually completing it, you get your tier 2 boots, because that mobility is going to help you out a lot. I'm going to cut to the chase here. There's not much to really talk about with Nocturne, and I'm going to just go ahead and say this so that we are all perfectly clear. No, I'm not saying that a tank Nocturne is a bad idea. Do I think there are perfectly good alternatives? Hell yeah, I do. Jarvan, Maokai, Warwick even, whatever. No, I'm not telling you that the Assassin Nocturne is the only way to play. You guys are feel free to do whatever it is that you need to do and play however it is you need to play. But when I'm giving out this guide, I'm just making it so that people are aware that Assassin Nocturne is really good. And if I haven't even proved myself I've actually played with some of you. I mean, hopefully some of you speak out in the comments section, saying to other people like that I have in fact played with you and you've seen the darkness, and it's like, whoa. You know, if that's not me proving myself, then I have disappointed you guys as a whole. But truthfully speaking, with this particular Nocturne build, there is one thing I need to let everybody know right now. This requires a ridiculous amount of precision, execution, and actually the most important thing is teamwork. See, everybody likes to think that I just wait to take kills and then just go through here and just, run the show or, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to be straightforward here. It's like you would a LeBlanc, or it's like you would just any other particular assassin champions. Not someone that can just pop on in there and then can't chase because of cooldowns. That, like, this person is very precise, has a high, ridiculous amount of mobility, and has a ridiculous amount of kill potential. Now, like I said, you guys feel free to, interpret it however you like. As a matter of fact, there's somebody in the comments that actually told me that they, legitimately disliked it. Not because, like, oh, I disagree, but this person actually argued that. And that's what it's really all about, guys. I want you guys to be able to, like, take a discussion and really kind of, talk about it. Is this really what is necessary? Or maybe, maybe Nocturne isn't relevant. Maybe that he is. How can he be applied? And, go from there. But getting back on point, guys, Nocturne is amazing. He really is. And he still, up to this day, has my heart. Do I think he's, like, the best jungler of all time? Believe it or not, not really. He's one of my best, but he's not, like, somebody that I would just, take to LCS. You know what I'm saying? There are plenty of other champions out there that have a ridiculous, stupid, the dumbest potential ever. Actually fighting Nocturne or just turning around team fights. There are plenty of other champions out there. Hopefully this guide, or update rather, helps. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to put them in the comment section. You know that I answer them. I answer every single one of them. I always be sure to check. I mean, that should be pretty much it. Ultimately, guys, really, if you're going to play Nocturne, remember that his kit is easy to, utilize, but it's learning to, when to go in, where to be at the time. He's so precise. It's like, if he was a particular object, if Nocturne was an object, he would be a surgeon knife. Very precise. You have to cut it on the line. You can't afford to, go in a different direction. Also, it's up to the lane to make sure that lanes on the enemy side aren't being ridiculously fed, that they're not feeding. And I could argue that that's pretty much anybody. You can jungle Udyr and the result would be the same. You would get run over by a 13-0 Riven. But like I said, guys, just experiment. Just try the guide. What harm could it do you? If you did the Assassin Nocturne style or the style that I do it, and you're doing what I am suggesting, great, whatever. But if you feel like that is not your kind of champion, or if you want to play him tanky or whatever like that, go for it. But all right, so I think that's the end of the update. If you guys want to see a different champion to do a guide on, just let me know. Hit me up. I'm always here. And for some of you that don't know, I do League videos. I sometimes stream. I need to get a work schedule around that. And I also like to do gameplay kind of stuff. So, welcome, guys. Thank you so much. Nocturne is amazing. He's the best of the entire planet. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time.